I think there's some uses of the technology that are very helpful. One of the things that technology allows us to do is that we can improve the power of some of our career interventions. Things like simulations, where people could actually view what it might be like to have a job, and with a computer simulation, actually being able to almost experience what it would be like to have a particular job. Also, the fact that we can deliver high-quality information to people, where we used to be constrained by what was held in a library. Now we can find lots of information, making quality information available to individuals in ways that we couldn't before. Another thing that we can do is that we can reach people who wouldn't typically ever get help, because some people are reluctant to ask for help. And so by having a presence on the internet where people can learn about career guidance and about career counseling, and actually where they can have some initial interaction at a distance, means that we can reach people that we might not be able to serve otherwise. As well as there are many rural parts of Finland. In fact, most of Finland really is rural as opposed to urban. You have a few centers of urban population where most people live. But how do we serve people who live in remote parts of Finland? One of the ways is with distance counseling, by just simply using the telephone. When we connect that with the internet, with all the information and assessment resources, I can effectively reach out and provide quality service to people who wouldn't ordinarily get help. Some of the most exciting things, and that's mostly research that's being done here in Finland. Finland really is leading the world in some ways in some of its research on social media in career choice. If we can use social media to be able to reach individuals, and information blogs and social networking sites, we can actually participate in the conversation that people are having about making choices. The big difference is that the role of the counselor is changing from more of an expert about the information to an expert about process of how to make a choice, and also the fact that the professional is not the only source of information anymore. In the past, we would use books and libraries and videos and things, all produced by professionals. Well, now people are sharing information on their own in social media sites about various occupations and about making choices and so forth. So counselors have to enter into that social media space and try to help people make good use of that social media, because there are problems in social media. There are people with very disturbing points of view. There are people with a lot of stereotypes and prejudice and misinformation that exists. So part of our job as counselors is to help people understand what's good information and what's not. There's a lot of information on the internet. If you Google career, you get millions and millions of hits. So, but some of the information is not good. I think there will always be a role for the face-to-face guidance. I think there's something about establishing a relationship with a person over time, especially for people that are having real difficulties in making a career choice, that face lots of barriers in their lives, that have a variety of health and mental health problems, as well as economic problems, that simply need more assistance. And so the individual counseling is always going to be with us, I think. The question is how do we make sure that the right people get that intense level of assistance? The interesting thing about face-to-face versus distance counseling is the distance counseling can be just as personal, just as relationship building as face-to-face counseling. It just means that I'm not in the same room with you. So that's where I think we have to experiment some and try some new ways of thinking. The real power, I think, is when we harness the relationship through distance counseling with people being able to actually use the computer during that discussion, where they can look up information and they can ask questions and they can react to the use of resources. That's where we're harnessing the human power and the technology power together, and I think that's the best form of guidance. I mean, I think, you know, you've made excellent strides. I mean, your program is just very well thought out. It's very, it's based on some good, solid research and best practices. And one of the things that distinguishes your program is not only is it just being innovative, but it's making sure that you're doing the right things to help people and using the right balance of technology and information and personal assistance. So it's not just a single approach. You have lots of ways of trying to reach individuals, making really innovative use of media and technology. I think your major challenge at this point is how do you disseminate the information about what you've done? How do you make other people aware of the good work that you've done? And that's not easy, to be able to make sure that people are aware of what you're doing.